guys, welcome to our channel. This is the Audio Couple. It's been a while since we posted the video, but we're back and Nimrod's going to do an exciting review for you today.
Hello everybody, and thank you Teresa, thank you for that introduction. Yes, as Teresa said, we are back and we enjoy our hobby, and part of the hobby is actually to review new exciting products, and I'm very excited about this new product from Denon, audio video receiver or surround sound processor. It's been launched around July of this year, and it was available in the shops around August. What is the big, let's call it my selling point? I would say it's the capability to support 8K video, and this is then 8K video actually at 60 Hertz. So by supporting 8K, Denon is actually one of the very first companies to support 8K, and they mentioned actually in their release, press release, that they want to be first to market, and for sure they are actually first to market. It is actually so new that a lot of the displays doesn't support it yet, and we're still actually awaiting some of the sources that will support true 8K formats. So for instance, the new PlayStation 5 from Sony, and I also know that the Xbox X series will support 8K. But today, of course, we all have more or less 4K in our homes. The same with me. I've got a 4K display. But what is interesting about the 4K is that look, this receiver supports HDMI 2.1, and it's of course a new specification, and the new specification then allow for 8K as stated earlier at 60 Hertz, but it also supports 4K at 120 Hertz, which allow for extremely smooth picture. So yes, in that case it is quite exciting. And look, the HDMI 2.1 is not just about the video resolution, but a lot of other technologies that goes with it, and of course it also supports it's legacy. It will support the legacy formats, and that's also important. But what I'll do is I'll also share a slide with you guys on the actual different formats that is supported by HDMI 2.1, and what are actually the new video formats that they support. As stated before, the 4K at 120 Hertz and then the 8K at 60 Hertz. So what it will also do is it will upsample all legacy, let's call it my normal HD formats, up all the way to 8K, which is also quite significant. And then this specific model, which part of the X series, and the X series, this is more or less middle of the range processor, the 4700H, part of the X series I stated before, and it actually supports 9 channels of audio, first of all audio amplification, but it also supports 11 channels of processing. And then of course it also supports 2 subwoofers, or you can actually calibrate the room with 9 channels including 2 subwoofers. And then it will also support additional channel for zone 2. So yeah, quite some significant number of power amplifiers within this unit, and yes, we were quite surprised. What I mean is of the video capability together with the audio processing capability, and then of course just the reproduction of audio. So what else can I tell you? Look, the system or the receiver supports a lot of features. I mean, I can just name a few. It supports first of all the immersive sound or latest immersive sound processing, 3D immersive sound experience, including of course Atmos. Yeah, look, and then further to the HDMI 2.1 format, look, it also supports HDR, and then the latest look, and we know HDR, HDR10, HDR10 plus, but then the latest HDR version that's available on HDMI 2.1 is dynamic HDR, which also assists to bring about a more vibrant picture quality. Then regarding other connectivity, look, it supports Bluetooth, it's got Wi-Fi, you can actually drive it via voice assist, and then of course including a moving magnet phono stage or a phono input. And myself and Teresa actually did connect our table onto the system. It was just plug and play regarding moving magnet support on this unit, which for me was actually quite surprising as to the quality that you can obtain. But I must say, when we actually listened to LPs, it was in normal stereo mode, and then also in the pure direct mode, which then supports the two main channels, the front channels, in a full bandwidth type of configuration, in a full range situation, and we obtained excellent results from phono playback. So I think, yes, regarding features, I think this unit supports all type of features that you'll require. Yes, and it's future proof. And why do I say so? It's because it's got extremely good capabilities regarding features. It's got good input capabilities, and we'll talk about that a bit later. But for me, of course, all these features prove nothing if it doesn't come together in a real world product. And what I mean by that is, you know, how does it function, how does it operate in a home environment, and does it really live up to all the hype regarding video, audio, and then features. And I must definitely say, I think that Denon has got another winner here, because I think that, you know, that Denon is actually you know, world famous for the quality in their products regarding home cinema surround sound processors. So this one definitely, look, I think that if you enjoy your movies, this is definitely a unit to go for. It's quite capable. They state 9 by 200 watt, but I think, look, to be realistic, in stereo mode, it's closer to about 120 watt per channel in stereo mode, and then when you actually drive all 9 channels, you're closer to around 90 watts RMS per channel at 8 ohms. So, but still, I must say, look, I've actually connected on my system with, you know, fairly large loudspeakers, and the unit was capable of producing good sound levels, you know, let's call it my SPL. But what I've also noticed is you don't need to push the receiver quite you know, hard, especially if you're playing music. It reproduced a very realistic sound, you know, even at low levels, which I think is maybe due to the Odyssey room correction. And remember, it's got the latest Odyssey 32 you know, multi-equalization built in, which I think it's definitely beneficial to the unit. So I think we spoke a little about the capabilities of the unit, but I think now it's also important to talk to my experience of the unit. And I think that's what everybody wants to actually hear, is more Nimrod. But look, we know it's got plenty of features. It's capable. It does support 8K. Although I couldn't test 8K, I definitely tested a lot of 4K material by connecting an Xbox One S to the unit. And yes, it's definitely capable. The picture quality was good. I couldn't discern any issues around the picture quality. And then, of course, we went through a whole list of things that we wanted to test. So first of all, we actually connected it up with all the channels. And in my room, I only have a 5.2 speaker setup with fairly large loudspeakers, but smaller ones at the back, and two subwoofers, definitely, I think I did mention. So first of all, we connected the system up, and then we connected it to the Wi-Fi network, and then it actually asked for a software update, and this is what we've done. We then let it do a software update. It took about, I think it was about maybe 13 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe less. And yeah, then after it, the system booted, and we then did a Odyssey room correction. We actually ran the Odyssey room correction software, and there, remember, you need to actually place the microphone that they supply with the unit at 8 different positions, and that didn't take that long. I think within 15 minutes all the calibration was done. Then the very important test for me was, first, how does it perform only in stereo mode? Although I know not a lot of people will use it in stereo mode, I wanted to actually hear what the capabilities was, the audio capabilities of, let's call it the preamplifier, the analog preamplifier that's built into the unit, together with the power amplification. So I've set the internal configuration to a 5.1 type of configuration, and I think I disabled some of the zones as well, so that I get maximum benefit from the amplifiers, built-in amplifiers. And yes, on stereo it was quite good. You know, what we did is, for stereo, I tested some YouTube videos, but some well-known ones on stereo only mode, and there again I used the pure or the direct mode to listen to audio, and it was very well reproduced. So then I really then I actually realized that, look, it's very capable on the analog side of the, let's call it the power amplifiers that's embedded inside this unit, and then the preamplification, and maybe let's call it also the digital to analog conversion capabilities. So then already I know that I had a good product here. What I mean is that the basics was done right, proper amplification, etc., and then digital to analog conversion. Then we went over to, of course, the surround sound processing capabilities, and there again I was quite amazed. We actually tested a few movies via Netflix. Of course, it was normally Dolby Digital movies, and we used the standard, let's call it, setup for Dolby Digital. We didn't go into very fancy modes, surround sound modes, but we did engage the Odyssey room correction, and we also enabled dynamic volume on the Odyssey room correction, and this produced very good results. We were quite surprised at how it steers the information, how it actually draws you into the movie, and how you actually can discern between different scenes. So for instance, there was in the one scene, there was an helicopter where the person was actually, you could actually listen to the helicopter while the person was, let's call it traveling inside the helicopter, and he actually had a conversation with himself. He was in deep discussion with himself, and then sometimes they showed a picture of the helicopter inside, and then sometimes outside, and you could clearly discern between the actual effect of the helicopter, and it sounded very real, etc. And then other thing that I must say, for me that was very impressive, was that the dialogue was always very you can actually discern dialogue very well. You never found yourself wanting to actually hear the actor better or what's happening in the scene. There was never this wanting for something. I think everything was rich, it was full, but the dialogue was very clear, to such an extent that you could actually sit back and relax and really enjoy the movie. So what the unit does, it actually disappears, and I think that is a very big plus for this unit. You switch it on and you switch your favorite movie on, and you can just enjoy the movie, and you can actually focus on what the movie, the storyline of the movie and what the movie is trying to tell you. And that for me is then full marks. I mean, you don't want anything more than that. So this is more around movies, but of course I enjoy my music and I enjoy live concerts. Here I actually preferred the Odyssey circuitry or Odyssey processing to be disengaged, and that produced excellent results. I was happy. It produced a very full sound, realistic sound, and what I was used to. And there again, it wasn't really necessary for me to play it very loud. At reasonable listening levels, it produced quite a full sound, which for me was good. So I would say yes, guys. It's best of three worlds. What I mean is the video quality is excellent, the audio reproduction is good, and then basically regarding features, it's got all the latest features. There's nothing that you actually could ask more for. This is definitely a future-proof product, and the performance is really up there. So I think hats off to Denon. I think you've got another winner again here, and especially on this specific model that I tested, the 4700H. And why I chose this specific unit is because it's sort of in the middle of the range, and it produces, it's got all the processing capabilities that you'd like to get coupled together with quite good power amplification, at around 120 watts per channel, which was, enough to drive decent sized loudspeakers. So for me, that is what was important. Okay, and then I think it's also important to notice, look, for the Odyssey processing, there's actually two presets, when Denon actually launched the product, they actually informed the reason behind these two presets. I thought it was just to, if you have two different setups for your microphones, you can have two different types of results. This in my case was actually true. I actually calibrated the unit twice just to make sure that the calibration was done correctly. So I saved the very first one that I did, and then a second one which was it was a bit more, let's call it more structured setup that I've done. But what Denon informed is actually, if you have, let's say during the day you use your normal a flat screen TV, and at night maybe you actually have a different setup with your projector. So because you maybe have a change of the setups, you can actually calibrate the sound for during day when you just look at your normal flat screen TV, and then maybe at night when you engage a screen and you actually engage the projector. And that's what you can do. So you have this added flexibility that if you have two different setups in the same room, that even the Odyssey processing can can be engaged with two different presets for the two different setups. Then finally, what I can also mention is, look, it's the units also that I don't think a lot of people will notice, but it's got an eco mode where it actually uses less power in general, but very specifically when it's just in an on state, but there's no sound being reproduced. It actually puts the unit into a lesser power consumption, which for me was quite interesting. I think these days because of power, this power situation and our earth, it's important also that we support these green products. And this is so, like I stated, this unit's got an eco power mode, which for me was also quite interesting, and I think a good add-on. Further to that, the actual build quality was good. Quite a solid unit, and then the front panel was also aluminium. On the panel, it's got some additional functionality, which is quite good, which if you can have some inputs from the front and also USB, and then of course you can also engage headphones from the front. So all in all, I would say a very full product. Just regarding the weight, it's around 12.6 kgs, which is a solid unit, and of course then at the back it's got the two antennas which supports both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. But that's it. I think that for me, it's a well-rounded product, and as I stated again, I think another winner for Denon. And to everybody out there that is new to the market, I know a lot of people will say, oh, but Nimrod, we're not too sure, we'll still buy the current product of Denon, or why should we use the 8K? Look guys, I think that for new people that is coming into the market and they want to, or they're interested in buying a processor, search of a good product, a future-proof product, and this one is indeed, it will support 8K, although there's maybe just only one input that will support 8K. All the other inputs still support 4K. So for me, this is really future-proof, and it with all the the immersive sound functionality, it's definitely a product that you can go for. And the audio couple, I think that we'll bestow it as a very good buy, or a best buy, definitely, as the way to go. Just keep in mind that they've actually removed the FM tuner capabilities in the latest range. So, but it will support internet radio, all of these, and of course all the streaming, different streaming platforms. It has support for that. It's way up there with all the other Denon products, and what is most important, it's future-proof. So I think if you see it among other processors out there, this is definitely the one that should be on your shortlist. Even if that shortlist is only 2 products, I think this is one of the ones that you have to consider. Yes, so Teresa, yes, I think that exciting product from Denon.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's the first product from Denon that we are, we're reviewing, and yeah, I was quite amazed. These guys, they do world beater type products, or let's say world renowned products, and yes, well done, to Denon. And this specific unit, yes, it's definitely a best buy. So if you're into home cinema receivers, processors, definitely give this one a call. But maybe from Teresa, was there something especially or something that you can think of that we want to share with the community out there?
Yes, we didn't even, or I didn't even realize there was phone stations.
Oh yes, to play back.
To play back records.
Yes. Remember, while we were actually connecting the unit, Teresa asked me, what is this ground connection over here? And I said, no, it can actually take a turntable. And yeah, so then just before we finished our review, I told her, look, our review won't be complete if we didn't test the phono stage, and of course it's moving magnet, and we used our world beater standard moving magnet cartridge from Audio Technica. And it produced very good results. I actually selected 2 of my favorite records, and we played it back, and it was it's good. You can achieve good results. And but I must say that was on stereo mode. I preferred it when I actually listened to LPs on the stereo mode, and it was pure direct mode, just for the people out there. Then I think that's it. Look, congratulations to Denon. They celebrate their 110th anniversary, and I mean, if you think about companies out there, you know, the moment you go over 100 years with, you know, of existence in a company, that's excellent. And congratulations to Denon. You've always brought very good products, innovative products to the markets, and you know, you cater for all types of customers out there. You know, that's also the same with the X series. You start with, you know, your basic customer that will be just interested in having a processor or a you know, surround sound preamp processor amplifier, and then you also cater, you know, for the high-end market. And like I say, this one is somewhere in between, in the middle of the market. But even in this category, product category, I think it's definitely one of the best. And the reason why I say so is because it does everything very well. Picture quality was good, audio reproduction was very good, the sound, let's call it processing, was good, and then feature wise, you know, there's a handful of features that it supports, actually more than a handful, and yeah, we're quite surprised. So it's definitely a full-blown product and a serious product as well. And I must say also, the impression that I got from Sound United is that these guys are very passionate and, you know, very focused on customer, but also to produce good products there, and to you know, supply excellent products for the community out there. But I found myself talking a lot about these things, but then again, I must also thank Homation, Galia. Thanks again for making this unit available to us, and also for your efficiency when we had to make arrangements to get the unit. Thanks for that, and that you also approached us, the audio couple. Then again, guys, thank you for watching our videos, and thank you for the support. We are back, and I think we're going to see a few other exciting product reviews, and maybe some other sessions, impression sessions, and all of these things that we do. But welcome back, and it's good. It feels like we're back home, you know what I mean? But again, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of our videos, please subscribe. But that's us then, guys, the audio couple, Nimrod and Theresa Smith. Thank you, and cheers.